Hey guys, welcome to Chossy Conversations. This is your host, Rhett Lundy.
And I'm your host, Logan McGahat, and we're here to talk about everything climbing.
Yeah, so this episode is brought to you by no one because we have no sponsors. So sponsor us, people.
Unless you want to talk to the Ascent and have the Ascent sponsor us. Yeah, send in all your fan mail to info@climbyourrock.com.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, send them everything you got, all sorts of photos of you climbing.
Tell them how much you love it.
Tell them how much you
weekly
love us.
host.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Make sure you mention our names. Name drop that.
Yep.
So we're gonna get going here with some climbing updates, some news, lots of stuff in climbing. This is a bit of a sad week that we're recording coming off of Thanksgiving week.
Yep. This week, the climbing community lost one of its own, Brad Gobright, and a very accomplished free soloer, probably better even than Honnold, if I had to say so.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely standing on the same toe as Honnold in terms of soloing, or was, I should say. Tragic accident in Mexico, climbing El Sendero Luminoso, and he on-sighted the entire route, 512 plus, 15 pitches, on-sighted every pitch, and he was rappelling down from the climb and had an accident with his partner Jacobson, and to which he fell over 600 feet to his death, right off the rope. So there's been some speculation in terms of current events about how that accident occurred, and I'm going to break that down for you.
Yeah, I think the climbing community itself, he was a great, from everything I've read, I had only gotten into him, into his exploits and adventures, fairly recently. But from what I can tell, everyone loved the man. He seemed like a all around good person.
Yeah, he did. He seemed like a true dirtbag. Has definitely won that award from a lot of people in the climbing community, and was just known to be this really great guy who just loved life and lived it to the fullest. And Andrew Bisharat, who has another climbing podcast called The Run Out, is also a climbing writer, and he wrote about Gobright's accident and was able to get some interview, it seems, with Jacobson and a couple other climbers who were there from Colombia, maybe? Not sure, somewhere in South America. And just sort of went through the accident, so I'll give you guys some details. Basically, the way it went down was that Jacobson and Gobright both did not tie stopper knots in their rappels. They had an 80-meter rope. They wanted to do 40-40 split off the anchors, simul rappel. They did not pull the rope to its midpoint at the anchor, so it was not even. They didn't think this was a big deal. They apparently wondered if they could make it all the way down to the ledge that was right above pitch 5. They were originally going to go down to pitch 6, but they were thinking, oh, maybe we can make it a little bit further down to the ledge above pitch 5. So in the article, it says that they opted to go to the to pitch 6, just 50 feet above the ledge. They figured they'd be fine. They said that Jacobson said that he could see the rope clearly touching down on the ledge, and Gobright's side was tangled off in a bush. He asked Gobright if they were good to rappel, and Gobright replied that they were good, and he was going to untangle the rope on the way down. They started rappelling without any stopper knot. Jacobson said he felt a pop, and he dropped about 30 feet or so from above the ledge, and then he hit the ledge and landed, and he saw Gobright fall through a bush, hit the ledge, and then bounce off and fell.
It's really sad to hear. You look at an accomplished climber. I mean, you've had this conversation before. Getting to that level a lot of time breeds complacency. And, that complacency comes, at a cost. You look at your equipment and you think, okay, I can make this work. This is going to be fine. This is going to be good. But then, you turn around and, you have a stupid mistake. You do a run out and, have a piece of edge flake on you and break, or you don't tie stopper knots and you just go straight through. Like, I think that's stupid mistakes on the climbing part.
Yeah, no, it is. It always is. Every time a climber dies from a rappelling accident, it's 9 times out of 10, that's a stupid mistake. That's just somebody not tying a stopper knot in their rappel and just running it through the device. I mean, it's a classic mistake that is so easily avoidable, but has killed a lot of climbers.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it takes an accomplished young climber, or how old was he?
Gobright?
Yeah.
I think he was in his upper 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe like 29 or so. Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty close to the age of Honnold, I believe. And they were contemporaries in the soloing world, constantly pushing each other. Brad Gobright kind of had a reputation of taking things a little bit more on the sketchy side, as Honnold was a little bit more on the control and mastery of the craft of soloing, while Gobright was looking for a little bit more, I don't know, I guess sketch factor out of it, and was constantly doing crazy stuff, crazy solos all over, and pushing it really hard, and really not weighing the risks, or at least I'm sure weighing them but not expressing them to a lot of people, as well as Honnold I don't think has done a particularly excellent job of expressing the risks of soloing to people. He has done so, but I don't think that he has done enough to ensure people that, yeah, climbing's a cool sport and all, soloing's really cool to watch, but it's also like,
it's very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it's fatal, fatally dangerous, and a lot of people have died from it.
I mean, I think the life expectancy of, a free soloer, it's either, you're going to make it to old age because you quit soloing, or you're going to die.
Yep.
And I don't think I've ever reached that point yet. Like, I've definitely flirted with the idea, but I was like, I know once I start, there's no going back.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, you got stories even going back as far as, John Backer, died while free soloing.
Yeah.
But his was kind of, it was just a freak accident.
And plenty of those guys plenty of those free soloists that have died from other things as well. It's like Dean Potter, wingsuiting. I mean, I think part of it is not necessarily the danger of free soloing, but the danger of what free soloing does to your headspace. And it can give you, it seems, sort of this invincible mindset that you take risks because you think, oh, I've gotten away with this, so I can get away with it with this risk, and you just keep amping that up. And if you don't check yourself, which is what Honnold is so good at, is checking himself and knowing when to back off. But a lot of these soloists, they get to their head, and that's it. And Brad Gobright, I can't speak to what his state of mind was when he passed. I don't know, but I can say that if you're a free soloist, you definitely don't want to die rappelling.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad just to think about, I'm sure he probably wanted to go out, if he ever thought about going out, he probably wanted to be on, some super crazy free solo adventure.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm sure he wanted to be, I'm sure he wanted to go out pushing it. This route that he died on, El Sendero Luminoso, was one that Honnold had soloed. Pristine rock, I mean, just beautiful. And he'd done that exact route solo. And I have to wonder if maybe Gobright was scoping it out as a potential solo for him. To say, oh, Honnold did this, it's clearly got something about it that is really climbable and sort of addictive. And he probably just wanted to check it out. I mean, he just had a free day. He's guiding clients in Mexico, just had a free day. Get this guy from Mountain Project down here, and we'll climb this thing, and I want to check it out. He on-sighted the whole thing, It seems like maybe he had some future intentions for that route, but, no one can say that for sure.
Yeah. Either way, it's a very sad day in climbing when we're already a small enough community that you hate hearing that it's getting smaller.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
It's getting smaller, but at the same time growing. But
growing as a sport and I feel like getting smaller in terms of the outdoor culture and the wanting to push it really hard outside. I think that is getting smaller. But I think as a sport, it's freaking, just blowing up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is really sad. Brad Gobright was one of my favorite climbers. I really enjoyed watching his stuff, and he will be missed. R.I.P. Brad.
Yeah, R.I.P. I say we have a moment of silence for him real quick.
Yeah, so anyways, yep, R.I.P. Brad, we'll miss you, buddy. And we've got some other stuff to talk about in terms of current events.
Yeah.
Primarily...
Let's jump into Emily Harrington.
Emily Harrington. Another person connected to Alex Honnold. Jumping right in.
Are you insinuating that there's a curse around Honnold?
I think you'd have to be a maniac to insinuate that. All I'm saying is that maybe... I think Tommy Caldwell might have put it best in Free Solo. He says kind of like a vice. You don't really want to do it, but sometimes you just let yourself because it's really nice, but you really don't want to do it. It's climbing with Honnold is addictive. It seems to me, from reading an article about Harrington's fall, that Honnold was involved in a little bit bigger way than maybe some people realize. From what I understand, he was belaying her, getting ready to simul-climb. He had the gree attached, but he had a ton of slack pulled on the ground. He was putting his climbing shoes on when she fell, and he only stopped the fall because he grabbed the rope with his bare hands. Then he got his girlfriend on belay, and then he soloed up to Harrington to see if she was okay on the free blast slab, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. But apparently there is a video of this accident that was released to, I believe, Outside Magazine, and they have been asked to not release the video to the public for fear that it may look Alex Honnold gave an inattentive belay.
I had not heard that.
Yes, that is a recent development.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a video that was released in the magazine, and they were asked by the person who released the video to not share it because it may make Alex Honnold look like he gave an inattentive belay.
Damn.
So, I don't want to make too many insinuations about Alex Honnold because I have a lot of mixed emotions about him as a climber, but I will say that does sound a little bit like a corporation protecting a wealthy person.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting those vibes from that. I didn't hear that
Just
part.
because he's famous does not give you the right to withhold that information. It is important for climbers to have information about other climbers' mistakes. It's important what to know not to do. It's important what to know watch out for. And it's honestly important to know what to be aware of in a climbing partner. And it sucks. You make one mistake, your name can be tarnished for a while. It sucks. That's why you got to be so careful.
Yeah. I mean, and then where does it fall on the journalist writing the articles that receive said video? I mean, obviously they're not these big bombshell breaking White House correspondent journalists that, have this kind of duty to, get all the information out. But they do have a care of duty, to almost say, yeah, we're going to release this video because the public needs to see it.
Absolutely. And they should. This article was written by Grayson Schaefer on Outside Magazine. And yeah, Honnold even admits that he admitted all that information about tying his shoes and not paying attention and tons of slack in the rope. He admitted all that, which is kind of interesting about him, that he wasn't trying to hide from the fact that maybe he messed up. But what he did do was justify it by later saying And I quote, "In a lot of ways, this shows that the techniques actually work. She took one of the worst possible falls on the whole route and still wound up basically fine. Yes, but if you had not grabbed that rope, she would be dead."
And here's the other thing about it, though, is like when I remember when the story was initially released, they almost made it seem like she was climbing on a separate team, and then he just happened to be there to, part of the rescue team.
Mm-hmm.
Like
he was belaying her.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
That part. I guess the holiday weekends kind of threw me off my game a little bit.
Totally. Well, that's why we did the research, and apparently Harrington hit the wall with her head so hard her helmet got knocked off.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and you hate that's. I think I'm one of the worst people. Like, I hate helmets.
I hate helmets. I hate wearing helmets. But honestly, if I was doing big wall climbing, and depending on the big wall climbing, and if I was doing anything super sketchy, I'd put a helmet on. But for single pitch sport climbing, easy multi pitch, that kind of stuff, I don't really feel like I need a helmet for that. If I was doing first ascent trad, I'd definitely wear a helmet.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you gotta know where to draw the line. I hate helmets, but there are instances where I'll put them on. We're going to your race soon. We'll be wearing our helmets at ice climbing because it's very different. So yeah, I don't know. He claims that the systems work, but it really seemed like there were no systems, and that the only reason she's alive is because he grabbed the rope. And if he had completely failed to do that, she would be dead.
Yep.
Or maybe if she gained a little bit more, I don't know. You can think of the what ifs all day, but in the end, it does seem like Honnold has maybe had done something wrong here. It's not necessarily trying to hide from it, but it seems like maybe some people are protecting him, and I think that information needs to be released.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is another. It's one of those stories we're going to have to keep an eye on. As more comes out later down the line. It's already been like 2 weeks, but
I'm sure that the video will be released sometime, and when it is, there is no telling.
I guarantee you it's going to be one of those videos that's released, but then it's going to be completely like pushed down as a way to not tarnish his name in the climbing community. So it's going to be like buried under layers and layers and layers of Alex Honnold videos. It's going to be like on page 30, like the last video, and it's going to say Alex Honnold and Attentive Belay.
Yeah.
Like, or something like, you won't believe this, Alex Honnold ...
Yeah.
But it's just going to be lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I guess we'll see. I don't wish anything on anybody here. I just want to know the truth, I think it's important to know the truth. I mean, I know personally I have a friend who I have climbed with a lot. I won't name their name, but they're just so reckless that I will not climb with them. Period.
Oh yeah, I'm very picky with the people that I climb with, especially belaying and being belayed by. Like, I think I've only felt like really comfortable with you belaying me, and one of my old climbing partner. Like, I really enjoy climbing with her. Like, she was a great belayer and stuff. It was just I had my own issues I was dealing with on that. But yeah, I mean, you're one of the only people. I mean, I'll climb in the gym. I'll let other people belay me. I have learned I let some people belay me more than others. I let this one guy belay me, and I was like, hey, I'm just trying to get back into lead climbing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yo, no, dude, I got you. I literally took a fall from 4th clip almost all the way down to 1st. That's
a big fall.
Scared the ever...
It's a big fall in the ascent for all you listeners. That is a big fall.
That is, yeah. Considering our walls are maybe 5 clips high at the most, 6, maybe.
Yeah, 6 at the most.
6 at the most. Like, yeah, 4th to the 1st is a big fall.
Yeah, it's a.
Which, I mean, I would honestly say that's a big fall anywhere, not just the ascent.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a whip. That's a whip for sure.
I mean, but here's the other thing though. It didn't feel like a hard catch or anything. It didn't feel like a traditional whip.
I guess he was just a good belayer then. Were you in the arch?
No, I was on middle slab.
No way.
Yep.
Huh. That's wild.
Yeah.
Middle slab. Wow, that's not a fun place to fall.
No, it's definitely...
I've whacked my knee so hard there.
Yeah,
many times.
Yeah, no. No, I came off and my feet were out, ready for the cushion.
That's good.
I realized, he had came off the ground too. We weren't using the ohm or anything. There wasn't that much of a weight difference, so we didn't think that'd be that big of a thing. But he came off the ground, and his head is right at my ass.
Yeah,
and I'm here at the first.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, thank the Lord I didn't shit myself.
Yeah.
And then like everyone in the gym is staring.
Yeah, totally. Oh man, I love whipping in the gym. People love that. They're just, oh my God, is someone gonna die over there?
It's like, hopefully.
What's going on? It's like, yeah, any day now. And welcome to the opportunity.
So let's actually branch out into an area we haven't really branched. Let's branch into mountaineering here.
Mountaineering. Well. I think I know what topic you want to talk about, Logan.
I think the achievement deserves to be talked about, and for anyone who's kept up with anything in the mountain world, whether it's climbing, like rock climbing, ice climbing, anything like that, Nim completed the 8,000 meters in 6 months and 6 days, setting a new world record. The previous record was, I want to say, like 8 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and he came in 6 months. He had the last route was like the hardest one for him to get because he had to get the permits, and then he celebrated Tibetan holiday or Nepalese holiday. Mm-hmm. I forget which one.
It was Nepalese, yeah.
Yeah, Nepalese holiday. With his family, because, his family's from there. He served with the Gurkhas and then the British Special Forces. And then finally they're like, yeah, you know what? Here's your permit. You can climb this mountain. And he did it.
Well, congrats to Nims. Way to go, bro. That's pretty awesome.
Like, I honestly, I would love to meet the guy and just,
totally
go mountaineering with him.
A lot of people have a lot of problems with what he did, but let's just say that no matter what he did, that is no small feat to climb those mountains.
6 months.
8,000 meter mountains. That is absurd. Man, that's a lot of climbing. Whew.
And for those of you who kind of aren't familiar with what an 8,000 meter is, Everest is one of them. Like Everest, K2, Annapurna,
Shishapangma. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most famous mountains you hear about in the Himalayas are,
all the tallest mountains in the world. 14 of the highest mountains in the world.
Yeah, I mean, and there would be more of them, but a lot of them are actually, designated as holy areas that can't be climbed.
Yep, yeah. Some mountains are protected.
So that's totally respectable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just hope one day that maybe their religion allows for climbers to enter those mountains and put some up. But if not, then, there are places in the world that I think deserve to be untouched.
Yeah.
And good for that. So, yeah, Nims has been criticized.
You were telling me about this earlier.
Yeah, he's been criticized a little bit for the methods that he used. He's made a lot of people mad. He's used helicopter rides, supplemental oxygen, fixed ropes. He was known as this guy who would always clean all of his gear off the mountain when he finished the summit. And then all of a sudden, when he set out to do this project, he started leaving gear and apparently asked other climbers to wait so helicopters could get photos of him, and was asking them to wait in really dangerous areas and stuff and holding up traffic and all. I mean, his methods went from being one thing that was, I think, pretty respected to being something that is just despised. But, those methods matter. I mean, this is coming from one non-alpinist to another. These methods do matter, but I do think it is a pretty incredible thing when he's done.
Well, let's look at it. I mean, he could have easily, that could very well be his thing, is cleaning the routes, not using more than what's needed. But when you set a time frame on something like this, like the original time frame was 7 months, you got to look at like where can you cut time out so you can make that. So do I agree with him using supplemental gear and all this when he's, very clearly showing that he's not? No, like I don't necessarily agree with it, but I also understand why. I mean, because you got to think he is still running he's still running his business.
Yeah, I understand why. I just think a lot of the criticism is coming from people who are saying, well, if you can't do it the right way, you shouldn't do it.
Well, and then I think that opens the question up to the climbing community. If you don't,
what is the right way?
If you don't like the way it's done, you go do it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think instead of criticizing and belittling an achievement that no one else has done, go out. Make that your challenge. Or say, I'm going to climb it in 6 months and 5 days. Yeah, and I'm going to do it without leaving any gear.
It is somewhat defeatist to say that if you can't do it that way, you shouldn't do it, and then to turn around and say, well, I can't do it the right way. I mean, well, okay. Yeah, the right way may be extremely dangerous, but that's kind of a defeatist attitude, which I think goes against every core principle of any alpinist, that you don't quit. So if you have a problem with the way he did it, then go set out to do the next best thing. And if you do it in longer time, but you do it the right way, I think that is significant, and I think people would realize that. But until someone tries, lay off.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's look at...
unless he's like littering up there, like big time, and causing all sorts of problems, which it sounds like maybe he caused a few, but I mean, unless he's causing all these problems, maybe just lay off the guy.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with the him stopping traffic just so he can get pictures. Like, I know pictures are needed for Project Possible and for his company and everything. It's PR. PR's PR.
Yep.
I don't think that. I don't think it's right that he should have stopped that, but I understand, like, everything that's going into it. I think it's an unnecessary risk, especially with as many deaths as been happened by traffic jams on Everest.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that is a huge risk, and I think we need to take a look at that aspect of his climbing, but maybe we leave the fact that his feat is not what we wanted it to be out of the equation. He did it. It's done.
And here's the other thing.
It was an amazing physical feat. Get over it.
And on top of that, like on top of not only completing this, in between his times of climbing these, 8,000 meter climbs, he was doing rescues on other mountains, like unaided.
Yeah, he was helping out. It's not like he was only focused on himself. He was helping other people.
He's done a lot more. He had like other expeditions that he had to go to and everything, and then right as soon as it's done, he jumps right into his next adventure. You want
to know what my theory is, and this could be really edgy, but I think my theory is a lot of people are really upset at the fact that Nims did it, and he is not a mountaineer's mountaineer. You know what I mean?
No, he's a
part of the Sherpa culture. He's wealthy, but he is not a mountaineer's mountaineer. He's not like Edmund Hillary.
No,
he's not like Conrad Anker. He's not like those guys, and so I think people are upset by the fact that he's not exactly like them. He just went out and he did this thing, and he said, "Hey, if you don't like it, too bad. I already did it."
Exactly,
and I'm happy with it, and he should be. 8,000 meter mountains, go out and do it and see how it works out for you in 6.5 months.
Yeah.
Or 6 months, just over, yeah.
Yeah, so moving on from that, though, I mean, even more controversy surrounds the man is the whole Kuwaiti flag stunt.
Yes, yeah, so talk a little bit about that.
So, from my understanding, the little bit of reading I did on it is the mountain... the government allows anybody who climbs the mountain, if they want, they can release a flag. They can put it at the top. They can release it as big like they did. You just have to have the permit.
Right.
It's a sign of, going through the government, paying the government that money to get to do it, and that leaves it open for future climbers. So this expedition, apparently, I think his company made $225,000 on one expedition.
That's a lot of money.
That is a whole lot of money. And in there, like they paid an extra $8,900, $9,000. You know, a large amount of sum for a normal person for this permit to unfurl this flag. They climb, they unfurl the flag. It's a great PR moment. It's a great photo opportunity. Gigantic flag, looked beautiful on the backdrop of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then the government says, y'all didn't get a permit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes, well, we paid for it, and, NIM's company is supposed to be taking care of it. Don't blame us. And then it gets a lot of people looking and saying, well, where's the money?
Yep.
If you're making that much money, $10,000, an extra $10,000, $8,900, however much it was, is not that big of a drop in a bucket of $225,000. That's a $250,000 right there.
Yeah. No, it's really not that much.
No, it's not $250,000. It's close to $250,000, almost $250,000.
Yeah, very close to $250,000, and that's just not that much money. It's a very, very small percentage, and yeah, he should just give it up.
But
where'd the money go?
But we don't know if that's necessarily him, or if it's someone else in the company. Bad accounting, bad just. Secretary forgot to, or personal assistant, whatever they want to be called now, just forgot to send in the stuff for it. And they're like, maybe they won't notice.
Right. Yeah. No, I wonder what's going on there. I'm sure someone's going to find out. Someone's going to dig through tax returns, and they're going to find out what happened.
See, here's the thing. If they find him guilty of it, I mean, he's facing criminal charges for this.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you got to pay the government what they're due.
And it's not only that, like they have to, not only is it giving the government money and saying, okay, yeah, this is kind of like a tax. We're taking this. It's going to go to upkeep of this and that. Had they just went up and unfurled this flag, I mean, that could have easily been mistaken as a, declaration of war, invading army.
Yeah.
What are people going to think?
Yeah, that flag just appeared on one of your mountains, just this massive flag. What would you think? You'd be like, what in the world?
Yeah, I mean, and that's going to have the government, just come in and be like, okay, we have to take care of this. And then that goes to also a dangerous situation for the climbers. That could lead to their arrest right then and there, interrogation by military forces, not just a regular prison, but, people with guns pointed at you saying, who are you, why are you here, type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm interested to see where it goes. I know, like I said, he can face criminal charges for this. Hate to see it. I hate when
I don't think he deserves it. But you got to pay the money. You got to pay for the permit. I know it's stupid. God, I wish we didn't. I mean, sometimes it's stupid. Sometimes it's not. Permits do a lot of good. Though I think the Nepalese government has had a lot of issues in terms of permitting prices and who they let climb that mountain, and they're trying to correct that now, which is maybe why people are coming down so hard on NIMS, is because they're trying to change the whole image of the permitting side to say, hey, we're not just scamming you out of money, even though they clearly have been. They've been just accepting complete novices to climb Everest just because they can pay a ton of money. So yeah.
But when your country is struggling, and you have these young professional amateurs that trust fund babies that say, yes, I want to go climb Everest, or multimillionaires who that's their dying wish is to climb this mountain. It would be a good argument if a lot of that money that they make off those permits were going towards the actual Sherpas, but they remain in poverty, making less than minimum wage. Exactly.
Making as much as, slightly more than a goat farmer in their villages, because the government doesn't give them any percentage of all they're making off those permits.
Yeah.
Enough money to literally bring villages out of poverty. Yeah. And they're just holding it back.
It makes you wonder, where, I would love to be, on the money trail and figuring out where all that was going.
Yeah, I wonder where it's all going. What's it funding? What's all the permitting money funding? It can't be roads. The roads are crap.
Yeah,
They melt every summer, you know. They're terrible. Maybe that is where it's going. Maybe it's going to replacing all their melting roads, all that asphalt that just melts, and the streets just turn into goo in the summer.
I don't know. Like I said, I think that if he knowingly did this and it was just all for keeping as much money as possible, you know, I think I'll be disappointed. And I think he'll deserve whatever he gets.
Yeah, I think so. I guess we'll find out. Until then, it's pretty cool feat. Proud of him.
Yeah, you know,
way to go.
Like I said, 14 mountains in 6 months. Like, that's kind of insane.
All over 8,000 meters. That is wild.
Yeah. All right. So we got a pretty interesting trip coming up here soon.
We do have an interesting trip coming up soon. We are going to Ouray. Yeah, Ouray Ice Fest, end of January. Roll up. Be pretty excited to see some folks there, get to interact with the masses and the crowds at Ouray.
I'm ready for the photography of it.
I'm ready for the photography of it. That's going to be cool. I'm not a photographer, so less for me. I'm really excited for you.
Yeah.
To get some good opportunity. I'm pretty excited for all the winter camping we're going to get to do, all the whiskey drinking.
Oh, yeah. You can't discount whiskey drinking.
No. It's going to be a lot of fun. Ice climbers are a lot of fun to party with. I've been to the Sandstone Ice Fest in Minnesota a couple times, and man, those guys know how to party. Woo!
Well, when you're stuck on the side of a mountain, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. You're surrounded by just ice and just harsh winds and snow. You gotta consume large amounts of liquor and tell dirty jokes. You know, it's the only way to go. So I'm looking forward to it. Going to be a whole big ramen diet. Going to go see my brother in Salt Lake City. Maybe do some climbing around there.
Going to go see my brother in Nebraska.
Yeah.
There's no climbing in Nebraska.
Going to go see one of my climbing partners, Joseph McDonald, on Iowa. Shout out Joe, my main hoe. Joe's been my climbing partner for maybe over 6 years now, I think, something like that. Very long time. The majority of my very serious climbing career, Joe has been my partner. So if you're listening to this, Joe, what's up, homie?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. It's been something I've wanted to get into for quite a while. Just never knew where to go to get into it, but I guess, Colorado makes sense.
Yeah, totally. All those mountains, ice.
So,
Oof.
Really excited. Went out this morning to clean out my old truck to get everything ready to I'll edit all that out.
Yeah, okay, sweet.
No, this morning I was up cleaning my old truck, getting everything ready for transferring it over to my new truck that I got. Shout out to my parents for being awesome.
Right on.
I'm probably gonna edit that out. No, but I was cleaning out my truck, and it's in the Smoky Mountains, and there's already snow up top.
Wow, Dad. This will be edited out, but my father keeps opening and closing the garage door, and it's picking up on our mic. Thank you very little, Father.
But yeah, so for the fourth time.
Okay, repeat yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, this happens. I was cleaning out my new truck, or my old truck. I was cleaning out my old truck, and I was getting, everything moved into my new truck, and it's in the Smoky Mountains, so it's cold. And, I look on top where my parents live. They kind of live in the valley area, and they're just surrounded on 3 sides by mountains.
Yeah.
Like, my dad's always like, yeah, that's how we know tornadoes are never going to hit us. We've got 3-way protection.
Yeah, totally.
But there's snow up on the one mountain, English Mountain. And I'm like going, this isn't going to be too bad. That wind came through, and I didn't have my winter coat on because it was still in my truck and everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, just walking to my, to get everything ready to go. And I was like, oh shit, this is cold.
Yeah.
And I put on that, and so, my coat has that wind shell over top of the
puffy.
Puffy.
Yeah.
And so, I put that on. I was like, Man, I feel great now. Like holy shit, like this cut all the wind out. I was like, man, I could actually like that was like the first time that I was like, dude, I'm gonna be fine at URA. I just need stuff to cover my head
Yeah.
and my fingers, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, and we'll get you set up. We'll have plenty of gear, and then it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be cold, but nothing a little bit of liquor can't fix. Liquor blanket, as they say. Get in the tent, have a nice time, get a fire going. Man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you're listening to this and you're gonna be out at URA, look for us there. Chossy Conversations. Maybe we'll have like a banner or something by then, or like a poster we can put on my Subaru.
That'd be really dope.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean,
not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, we could totally get some ball caps made. Yeah, we'll get some merch out to
Stickers.
you. Yeah, we'll get some merch out to you listeners. Yeah, stickers. Ooh, yeah, man, if there's one way to get climbers, it's those
Stickers.
Those sticker sluts. They just come crawling out of the woodwork when you start bringing out the car decals. Just, ooh, another one for my Nalgene. Rah. Just run around gobbling up stickers.
They're like, ooh, can I put one on my Nalgene and the back of my car?
Yes. Oh, double teaming. Okay, all right, easy.
Only thing that makes us more popular if we were a brewery.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, we'll carry beer with us all the time, so maybe people will think we are. They're like, hey, what's Chossy Conversations? Well, it's actually this thing we do when we get really drunk and we start talking about stuff. Oh, right on.
All right,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah.
We don't want to give the impression that we're drunk right now.
No, yeah.
Because we're not.
No, we're not drunk.
We're not lightweights.
No. No. Not drunk, not lightweights. No, not
Just
like
cynical.
several of our friends.
No, we're just cynical old men.
Yeah. We just like to drink for the sake of doing it. Not because it adds any value to our lives. Well, I don't know. It kind of does. Makes me feel a bit happier.
I don't know. We just drink just because it's something to do on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, totally. Or Monday night.
Or
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night.
I mean,
Yeah, no, your race gonna be fun. We're gonna do a special episode out there too. We're gonna record a podcast, maybe in the back of my Subaru, hopefully.
dude, that's gonna be.
I'm gonna buy a couple outlet banks, and we're just gonna, I think we can, honestly. I don't know what we're gonna attach our stuff to. Maybe like a sleeping pad or something. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. No,
Yeah.
we'll open the hatchback and attach it, and just have the mics coming down.
Maybe we'll meet a couple ladies, have them sit in the back seat while we're in the trunk. It'd be like a little cool group thing. Be like, hey, ladies, you wanna add in your input? And then be like, oh yeah, we climb harder than you guys. Like,
And
why
I'd
don't
be
you
like,
leave your ray and quit taking up our ice?
I'd be like, accurate.
Accurate.
All
Yep,
right.
totally. We will go home now, or we will go to the bar now.
We will go drink our
Yeah,
sorrows.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And then there's also the Sandstone Ice Fest is coming up, I think, around the same time, maybe a weekend before. We won't be going to that one, and that's in Sandstone, Minnesota.
Although if we left early enough,
If we left early enough, we could hit both, but it's kind of out of the way.
It'd be,
it's extremely out of the way, but
now if anybody listening out there would like to sponsor said trip, and
yes.
like to be a proud sponsor of Chossy Conversations, we are accepting all open offers. We'll throw your name into the mix on the start of the podcast.
Yeah, so Logan, where would be a great place for people to send donations if they were to donate to the podcast?
Well, you can find us several places. You can follow us on Twitter. That's going to keep everybody up to date. I got that Twitter handle right here. I'm gonna edit
Chossy
that.
Convos, I believe.
Yeah, it's Chossy Conversations at Chossy Converse1.
Okay.
Probably have to fix. I don't know if I can fix that.
Well, just spell it out for him.
At Chossconversa1. So that's going to be the first place. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, and you would like to get in touch with us through our email, that is going to be.
I think that's ChossyConvos@gmail.com.
I think you're right. Yep, ChossyConvos@gmail.com. So ChossysConvos@gmail.com. Like I said, feel free to send us questions. We'll answer them on air if we get enough of them. If we get enough variety, or hell, we'll just answer anything because we're lonely.
Yeah, totally. And if you have any input on how to make this podcast better and more streamlined, please shoot that our way. We will definitely appreciate feedback. We want to hear what you guys want to hear, and talk about some of that stuff. And maybe we keep up with some other climbers, some lesser known ones. So let us know. Give us a shout out, and we'd love to talk with you. And hopefully we'll see you at your rate. Also, the Michigan Ice Fest is coming up second weekend of February, I believe. Michigan Ice Fest is also going to be happening, which is a really big one. I think that's the largest in the Midwest, largest ice festival in the Midwest.
So once again, if you want to sponsor that trip, we will gladly go and do shows from there.
Donate money, give us your money.
No, we're just kidding.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have plenty of fun ice climbing. We're gonna get a lot of stuff in, and then we'll come back to our rock and we'll crush it on some sandstone.
And then we'll, hate ourselves because we're missing the ice.
Yep, exactly. And then we'll move out to Colorado and California and have a better time soon enough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good trip. I think a couple, at least a week camping in cars, eating crap, drinking crap. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah, we're going to come back like shredded and highly addicted, I think. Just to everything, to just the whole scene, liquor.
Well, you mean to tell me you're not already addicted to liquor?
All right.
Yeah,
you caught me. You
yeah.
caught me. What are you, my preacher?
No, I think there's a natural evolution to climbing there. You got, ice climbing, then going in, alpining, you get into that iceberg climbing. That's dangerous as fuck.
Oh yeah, Clement Premerl, shout out to those icebergs, man. Talk about some crazy climbing, man. That guy's nuts.
But it's in
a calculated way, kind of like Honnold, but like for ice climbing. Honestly,
I think there's
way cooler.
There's a whole world of climbing out there, and we're just dipping our toes in.
Yeah. Totally. So hopefully we see you out there, guys.
Yeah, feel free to, if you do see us, come by. Like I said, we'll give out whatever merch we have. We'll give you practically anything but the clothes off our backs and our equipment, but and our car.
And don't touch my flask, but everything else is fair game.
Come on, where's the spirit of sharing?
Yeah. Okay, you can have my flask.
You can have a drink.
Let's
be conservative.
Have a drink on us.
But no, feel free to come talk to us. We'd be glad to, if you want to be a part of the podcast, we'd be glad, get your thoughts and opinions on stuff. But, for right now, we're getting ready to sign off. Once again, you can go find us on Twitter, Chossy Conversations, at ChossyConverse1, and shoot any email inquiries to chossyconvos@gmail.com. Hopefully soon we'll have an Instagram up and running, more streamlined content coming to you because we care about you.
Indeed, and we'll be posting photos and funny videos and all sorts of fun stuff.
So if you like us, feel free to give us a follow, give us a like on YouTube, hit the notification bell because subscriptions don't always mean anything. So we're looking forward to seeing you all around. Have a wonderful night. I'm Logan McGaha.
Yeah, I'm Rhett Lundy, and stay safe out there, my choss gobblers.